Hey everyone, it's Dominic, the Primetime Treasure Hunter. Thanks so much for coming by to check out another video. I don't have as much pep in my voice as I normally do because it is 4 o'clock in the morning, and at that point even I start wearing down a little bit. I have to be up in just a few hours to go to my non-reselling full-time job at the hospital. And so I figured I would still turn this camera on and get a video up for you, even though it won't be super long, because I don't think this video needs to be super long to have an impact, and that's why I'm doing it. One is really the primary reason I'm doing it is for motivation, to help you out if you're going through a difficult time sometimes during this year where you're trying to hit a goal and you fall short. And I fell short, well, technically 2 days ago, but I fell short recently, and I want to tell you how I handled it, so hopefully it's something that can help you out. The other reason is because people have asked me to do more videos sharing what things are like for me personally, and so I said, okay, well, this is a good opportunity to do that. I want to kind of tell you what happened to me over the last couple of days. So Tuesday night, and I mentioned this when I was doing a video, I was wrapping it up around 3 o'clock in the morning. I got the video up, I got it posted, I got a few hours sleep to go to work the next morning, which for me winds up being I've got to pretty much get up around 6:30. You know, I could stretch it a little bit, 6:40, 6:45, something like that, depending on the day, but typically it's around 6:30. So I've got to pretty much try to get to work to start my evaluation of whatever patient that I'm seeing that day at 8 o'clock. Well, I get on the road, and when you know it, this is Wednesday morning, I run into terrible traffic. Car accident tying up the interstate, and long and the short of it is I wind up being about a half an hour late, maybe a little short of that, maybe like 25 minutes, and I'm not able to start my evaluation until 8:40ish, okay? And that really sets me behind for the day. Now keep in mind, that's the night that I'm supposed to be interviewing Casey the Rockstar Flipper on my live show. So I do the evaluation, we get it done, and between that and all of the other stuff that hits me sometimes during the day that I've got to deal with, I've got stuff coming at me in every different direction. I don't wind up getting out of work until 7:15, which is pretty unusual. I usually get out of there, you know, somewhere, sometimes 5 on a good day, but, you know, 6 o'clock would be on average, 5:30, 6 o'clock, so 7:15 is really late for me to be there. And of course it's the night that I'm supposed to interview Casey at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is all Eastern Standard Time. So I walk out the door, out of my place of employment, and I suddenly find myself getting hit with a massive snowstorm. So I'm like, this is crazy. Now I've got to try to get home safely in this storm. So I get in the car. It, of course, slows me down significantly, and normally the commute should be around 20 minutes. I don't wind up getting home until 8 o'clock. In the meantime, my daughter had called me on the phone telling me she needed help with homework. I'm starving, and I need to take a shower. And I also need to get my computer set up for everything with Casey. So in my mind, I'm prioritizing everything that I have to do and how I'm going to set this up the moment I get in that door. Not only that, I've also got to pay attention to everybody. I've got to say hello and say hi to my wife, my daughter, my dog, who's Daisy. Oh, by the way, if you haven't followed my dog Daisy, she actually has an Instagram account that's at Miss MISS_Daisy_wobble. So go check her out. She's hilarious. Once you see the pictures, you'll be hooked. But anyway, So she gives me a lot of attention, so I gotta say hi to her. And you know, just kind of, you know what it's like. You gotta kind of acclimate once you get into the house. You don't want to just walk in and then just go do something that's not, you know, related to family. So do that. Planned out my meal and everything. Had everything planned out. Was just gonna pop something in the microwave for 3.5 minutes. While that's getting ready, I have my daughter setting up the laptop for the assignment she needed me to read over. I'm firing up my laptop to get things ready for Casey. And so I'm multitasking. I'm getting everything done. I'm figuring out exactly how much time I need. I'm prioritizing all the things I have to do on the computer. And long and short of it is I get all that stuff done just in time for the show. Like, you would not know it, but when you turn on that video for the live show that I did with Casey, I mean, I narrowly made that just in time. So there's so many things that could have gone wrong for me not to make it. So now this gets to, you're probably wondering, what the heck does this have to do with your goals? Well, one of my goals for this year is 5 listings a day. And some of you probably hearing that probably just laughed, especially if you're full-time into reselling. But for me, 5 items a day is sometimes a challenge because of a kind of day like I just described. There's other days where it's pretty simple, but there's days like this where it can be really tough. And but my goal was it's going to get done no matter what. Now I have been doing this 5 listings a day. I had accomplished that every single day. So that was January 9th that this occurred. Up till then, those first 8 days, I was good. 5 items a day, so 40 items. I knew that Wednesday was going to be a challenge. And so I even had things prepped ahead of time to prepare for it because I knew it was going to be tough. So I had already taken all of my photos. All the photos were all ready. I just had to put the listing together. So interview with Casey's over, and me and him talk afterwards for about a half an hour, you know, just kind of shoot the breeze and stuff. And by that point now it's 10:30. So go upstairs, talk to Mrs. Primetime, my producer, and you know, we kind of chat about the show a little bit and just about, you know, catch up on the day and stuff like that. And then eventually she heads off, and you know, with Daisy, and it's just me at that point. And I've come back to, and this is newer for me to deal with this year, I've got such a footprint now in so many areas of social media that I've got to manage all that too. And so Laura Cohn, I know you're watching this. Yes, this video does have to partly deal with time management. And, you know, I don't want to ever leave the Facebook group short, so I have a lot of, you know, approvals of new members and people, you know, tagging me that I try to get to. Then I've got my Instagram account. So then there's my YouTube channel, which obviously I'm on right here, but people leaving comments and stuff like that. And I try to be very responsive. You know that if you left comments for me. So I'm going through approvals, and, you know, it's a long day. And so I say, and I knew in my mind I shouldn't have done this. This is where my mistake was. But I said, let me just turn over, get a little bit more relaxed, and just do these approvals. I do them on my phone almost all the time. That's where I do them. And so I just hitting buttons, doing approvals. Now that's around 11 o'clock. The next thing I know, now I had done 1 listing earlier in the day. The next thing I know, I wake up and it's time to go to work. There's no time to do any listings. I literally need to get up and I need to get ready, get out the door, because I have another patient waiting for me at 8 o'clock in the morning to be seen. So I get everything together. I head over and I start thinking in the car of how I'm going to respond to this, because this was my kind of worst case scenario. You know, I had things planned out for how things, you know, how I could approach yesterday and get those 5 listings done, but unexpected things happen sometimes that you can't plan for. Can't plan for the traffic accident in the morning. Can't plan for the snowstorm all the time happening, you know, on the way home from work. You know, there's just things that happen that you just, you know, can't plan on, that you're necessarily going to pass out and fall asleep. Now, that's good and bad. You know, I'm not a robot, and while I could get by on a few hours sleep here and there, like I'm going to do from tonight till tomorrow, At some point I need to catch up, and my body's going to let me know that. And I listen to that. And so, right now I actually don't feel that exhausted, but tomorrow night I probably will. And last night my body was telling me you need some rest. And, I fell asleep. It wasn't something I voluntarily did. But I said, all right, on the good side, I do feel refreshed to tackle this day. And here's the key point, and this is the main point of video and kind of a long way to get to it. But when you realize that you have failed at a goal, or if you don't like the word failed, they didn't accomplish a goal that you had set out to do. And this is one of the problems if you set out to do daily goals. Because daily goals are tough because you don't ever know what's going to happen during that day. That's why some people like to set more of a weekly goal or a monthly goal. And Esme's probably watching this, and I did talk about making sure you add flexibility into your goal system. And so mentally, I have to do a few mental gymnastics to kind of make it work so that I feel like I accomplished my goal, rather than giving up out of frustration. And yes, I was frustrated that I didn't meet that goal. I was disappointed that I didn't do that. But this is really the key, that when that happens to you, when you have that setback, you have to, if you want to be successful in business, if you look at all the successful businesses, I don't care who they are, Amazon, you could look at the story of Jeff Bezos, you could look at Apple and Steve Jobs, almost every person that ran a successful business has been knocked down multiple times. And what distinguishes them from the people who don't succeed is getting back up and dusting yourself off. And sometimes it's easier to do that than others. Sometimes you just fall down lightly and get up, but sometimes you get knocked down really hard. And maybe you get up slowly, but the point is you always get back up and come up with a plan to fight back again the next day. So for me, my goal was to try to get as many listings done as I possibly could today. And it was another crazy day. I didn't leave work till 7 o'clock again. Got home, did some family time, that sort of stuff. But, once that wrapped up, I had a plan in place to get some quicker items listed that didn't need as much processing. And I wound up getting a total of 8 listings done today. So that means I only have 2 that I have to carry over into the next day. And that's the key for me in this situation. Not giving up on those 5, I'll carry them over. And let's say tomorrow I only get done 6, I'll carry that other one over till the next day until I make up those ones that I missed. It's just a mission. And you got to be focused on it and just go get it done. So I wanted to do this type of video early in the year because it's the first week or 2 where people are trying to apply their New Year's resolutions. And you have to think ahead to the end of the year. At the end of the year, because it's going to come, and you're going to say to yourself, did I accomplish those goals that I set out? Make sure you have that in your mind as a focus, that you want to get to that point at the end of the year where you can look back and say you did it and say you crushed those goals and not say you have regrets that you didn't follow through on them. So it's just, you have to be relentless. There's no other way I could describe it. That's how you have to be. You have to be focused and relentless every day to go after those goals. And just pursue them throughout the year. Just take them one day at a time, and before you know it, you're going to find yourself in a routine, and that routine in and of itself is going to be what just keeps you going, because you're not going to want to break that routine. And if you do break it, you're going to feel bad about it, and you're going to want to make it up in some way. Now, I should just say, as an exception, because there's exceptions to everything, okay? You have to have emergency contingencies in place. If you obviously have something like God forbid, a death in the family, or a major medical emergency, or some crisis happens in your house where there's a flood or something like that, or like a natural disaster in your area, of course, in situations like that, you could skip your goal for the day if you had a daily goal, or for the week, or even for the month, depending on how bad it is, and then just, again, recalibrate once things settle down. Okay? So, but what I'm mostly talking about is kind of more, normal kind of stressors and things that could happen during your day to throw you off, not necessarily big major life events like that, which of course we all have to have flexibility for. So I hope this video is motivational for you and helped you. I'm sorry if the audio is not terrific on it. I still need to get my phone in, and because that's what I'm doing this on, so I still need to get that in and get the audio worked on a bit, or maybe even get a new phone. But hopefully it came across adequately enough for you to get the main message of what I'm trying to say. Hope the video helped you. If so, make sure you hit the like button. And if you know someone who you think could benefit from this video, who needs that motivational kick, I don't care if it's related to reselling or not. This doesn't have to be reselling related. It could be diet related. It could be exercise related. Doesn't matter. Whatever it is, you know somebody who's struggling already with hitting that goal for January 2019, send them this video. And if it makes an impact on you, let me know that down in the comment section, because that's one of the main reasons I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning making this video, is because I hope that it has an impact on somebody out there who might be struggling with issues like this. So you could do it. I have faith in you. And let me know if the video helps. Subscribe if you are not subscribed to the channel. Drop a comment down below. If you have a question, feel free to ask. And I'm always happy to interact with all of you. Make sure you come to the Instagram account I mentioned. That's @prime_time_treasure. And make sure you come to my Facebook group if you're a reseller, the Facebook Reselling Resource Center. The link to that is down below. I'll see you all at the next video, everyone. I got to get a few hours sleep. Take care.